Hi, I'm Rich.
And I'm Shelley. Welcome to Air to Ground Farms.
I'm sure you've heard the saying, we are what we eat. Here at Air to Ground Farms, we look at that a little bit different. We say we are what they eat.
When we first started farming, we really didn't know exactly what we wanted to feed our animals. Were we going to feed them conventional feed or organic feed? And we were shopping for some feed at our local feed store, at feed and hay store, and we ran across a local feed mill making non-GMO feed.
So we decided, let's look into it. It was about a midway price point. So, it was more than the conventional, less than the organic. So we decided to give it a try. And I can't tell you how happy we have been with that decision. Can you imagine texting Purina and giving them your feed order?
That's hilarious. We do. Our local mill is a small family-run operation, and we have a relationship with them such that I text them what my order is on, say, Monday or Tuesday, and we go pick it up on Friday in a bulk order situation. And that has worked really well for us. And what we want to do is just take you guys along today and let's go get feed. We want to show you our feed mill, kind of how they have things set up, how we have things set up in our barn. We do a little fermenting for our feeder pigs that we are raising for the store at Air to Ground Meats. And then we even want to show you, we've got some new team members on the farm, and we want to show you those ladies as well. So come along with us. Let's go see the feed mill, load up some feed, and take it back to the farm and get this stuff unloaded. Rich went inside to pay, and I thought I would just kind of go over what we've got here. This first bag is about 1,000 pounds of GMO-free sheep food. This is what we supplement our feeder ram lambs with. We give them quality hay with a little bit of grain because we found out that our pastures just aren't nutritious enough to grow quality lamb that tastes amazing. It tasted good, but it was just they weren't getting big enough. So we knew that we needed to add protein and give them a little extra calories. So we did that by adding some GMO-free grain to them. We would love to be grass only, but just didn't work for us right now. And then in the next bag is our GMO-free hog fattener. That's about 2,000 pounds in that bag, and that'll last about 3 weeks maybe. We're feeding about 27, no, I'm sorry. We're feeding about 33 feeders right now, and they kind of go through it. Everybody gets their poundage per day, and that just about how long a ton will last us. So Rich has gone inside to pay. Then we'll get this hooked up. We use big yellow straps, and then he'll hook them up or strap them down, and then we'll take it back to the house and get it unloaded.
All buttoned up, ready to go. Hey, Michaela, what's your favorite part about fermented pig food?
Nothing.
Nothing?
It's stinky and gets on me and it's heavy.
Is that what's all over you?
It looks like you took a bath in it.
Yeah, I'd say.
But do the pigs like it?
Yeah, it's better for them, but not better for me.
Why is it better for them?
Because it's like kimchi. It's fermented and it helps their gut and then they just do better with it.
Have you seen any differences since we started feeding them fermented feed again?
They might have grown faster.
You think so?
Maybe.
Okay. What about their water usage?
They drink a whole lot less water. I was having to do it 2 times a day, and now I only have to do it once. So.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And it's winter, so sometimes I don't even have to do it
Nice.
in the day. I don't.
So see,
Looky there.
what's your favorite part about fermented pig feed?
Not having to do waters.
There you go. You saw how tight I put those ratchet straps on? This is what happens after 3 miles down our Ozark dirt roads. They're just completely loose. But luckily the bag stayed right in place. The half ton, it's still pretty tight. It's okay. The 1 ton, not so much. Let's get these things off this trailer.
So these are our newest laying hens. We realized after we opened the store somewhere around August, September that we did not have near enough eggs to supply the store for the people. They love them and we just don't have enough. So we added 60 layers. This breed is called the Delaware and we got them because they're white, honestly, and they're good layers. But the fact that they're white, what it's going to allow us to do is know what year we bought them. Last year, whenever we added layers to our flock, we got the red sex links, and they're red, similar to a cinnamon queen or even a Rhode Island red. And since those are red from 2023, these are white from 2024, and maybe next year we'll get black ones. And that way we know what year we got them, and whenever it's time to cull them, we'll know who's the oldest. These ladies are just several months old. So we have them in a cage, teaching them that the chickshaw is their home. And in a couple of weeks, they're actually going to move to our garden and start the tilling and winter process with the garden. But this cage allowed them to go in and out of their coop, their chickshaw, and learn that that is their coop and home them, and give them a little bit more time to grow up before they're over there with the older hens who can sometimes be a little bit aggressive towards younger ones. By springtime, air to ground meats will have about 10 dozen eggs per day. So the customers that we have who are on subscriptions and waiting lists for eggs, because they are amazing, farm fresh, GMO-free, chemical-free, everything-free eggs. The waiting list is growing, and we wanted to make sure that we have enough. And by spring, boy howdy, we will certainly have enough eggs. While we were picking up this feed, we were talking to Bryson, who owns Beaver Creek Feed, and he is considering coming on our podcast. And to bring up the podcast, we have a podcast. It's called the Dust or Mud Podcast, and we've been doing it on this channel, but we recently moved it to its own channel. The link will be in the description below.
The Dust or Mud podcast channel.
Yeah, that's right. On that channel, we like to talk about food, freedom, and farming. We have recently had Kevin and Sarah from Living Traditions Homestead. Make sure to go check out that video. It is a long, in-depth, deep dive into homesteading, the practicalities of it, lessons learned over 8 years of being homesteaders and farming. And they're just a wealth of information. So make sure to go and check out that podcast.
And it was fun.
It was so much fun.
We laughed, and I even had fun editing it.
Yeah, it was just a great time with friends, just a really cool conversation. So make sure to go check that out.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the sheep feed off. I'm going to set it down.
Okay.
I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pick up this bag of sheep feed, and then I'm going to take it back over there, and we're going to put it on top of that bag of sheep feed. And then I'm going to take that bag now of a little bit more sheep feed and bring it back over here.
Okay.
And then we'll swing it into place.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go get the hog fattener and put it in.
Cool.
Okay? Let me tell you one thing, when it's this cold outside, I am very happy to have a tractor with a cab.
Right, Jersey chick.
And we had the engine block heater plugged in, so the tractor is already warm. Nice!
So because our sheep feed wasn't all gone, what he's going to do is empty the old sheep feed bag into the new sheep feed bag and put the old stuff on top. That way we only have one bin that we have to deal with.
You'll probably want to take it this way and then push it forward like that so we can get this out. Otherwise you won't be able to pull it out because of the freezer.
Because of the freezers in the way.
Right.
What do you reckon you weigh? How much do you weigh?
110 pounds.
110? All right.
Around.
How much you moving right there? About 2,000 pounds. Pushing is harder than pulling. Oh yeah, you did get it to move. So we just went and picked up 1.5 tons of Beaver Creek GMO-Free feed that we give to our feeders, our feeder pigs and our feeder lambs that are going to be sold as food in the store in town at Everground Meats. Yeah, and another thing that we do that's really interesting, and many of you have probably heard of it before, but we ferment some of our feed. And we want to show you just a little bit about how we're doing it. Whenever we plussed up and got more feeders, we stopped fermenting the feed. We had been fermenting for over 2 years, and we stopped because there were so many feeders. We just were like, oh no, we can't do this in these buckets anymore. And instead of that, we just started feeding them the same feed, but we were doing it dry. And the dry feed, while it's good, we just found that they were a couple of things. One, they were going through a lot more of the feed. Two, it was coming out the back end of them. They were not digesting all of the feed, and so they weren't getting all of the nutrients from it. And
three, they were drinking a lot more water.
Yeah.
And because we don't have automatic waterers for our pigs, I mean, we have hoses, so we're able to fill their troughs, but it just was a lot more work with the water, especially in wintertime, where water and hoses is a big deal when it's below freezing. We used to ferment in buckets, and now we've changed things up a little bit. I want to show you what we're fermenting in now.
So we had a freezer go down on us, and this was one of our freezers that we were using for the meat, and the compressor quit and it set. Well, what do you do with a freezer that doesn't work other than, let it sit? Well, with winter coming, we started fermenting again. And what we do is load this freezer up with feed and water. As you can see, it kind of steaming. We've put warm water in here to get it going because we're about to load it up and it needs a little help. But we kind of keep it going and we don't let it run out. And what that does is it's constantly fermenting, bubbling, and fermentation creates heat. This is insulated really well. You got some heat going on inside. So with this setup, that means we're gonna be able to ferment the food for the pigs all winter. And with each batch of food goes nutrients, it's good for their guts, and they're getting plenty of water and moisture in with their food. And it doesn't come out the back end of them. We like it a lot. This has been a really good setup. Michaela doesn't necessarily care for it too much because it does make a little bit of a mess. You can see all over the front of her coveralls or her old flight suits here. This is one of Rich's old flight suits from back in the day. It gets a little yucky, but it works so good for the pigs that maybe the trade-off's okay. Maybe. Okay, let's load this up. Corn, oats, soybeans.
Minerals and vitamins. We just use a 5-gallon bucket and just scoop out of the bag and then into the freezer it goes. And we had just run out of food. Obviously we were going to get some, but that's why the freezer's empty. Normally it just stays full and we just add more food and more water to the mix, stir it around when we mix it out the next day, add more food, more water, and it just keeps fermenting.
So kind of like kombucha or anything else that you ferment. We did leave some down in the bottom. Not really a SCOBY, but we did leave some, and that the bacteria in that will help get this started.
We normally like it to sit and ferment for 3 days before we start feeding it, but we ran out this time. So we'll start feeding it tomorrow morning, and then it'll continue to ferment. We really hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.